so I don't fear anything, as if right now. I was just imagining, like, how cool would it be to just be in a relationship with someone who understands.
Detroit doesn't just create artists, it creates survivors. And DeJ Loaf is proof of that. Born Deja Trimble, her story begins on the east side of Detroit, where life hit hard early. After losing her father at just 4 years old, everything changed. She once dreamed of becoming a nurse, but music had other plans. Influenced by the raw emotion of Tupac, she started turning pain into poetry, and poetry into purpose. By 2012, she was all in, dropping her first mixtape, Just Do It, and grinding her way through a crowded scene. But it was 2014 that changed everything. One track, Try Me. A song that didn't rely on loud beats or flashy visuals, just confidence, honesty, and a flow that felt almost effortless. The streets caught on first, then the internet, then the world. Even Drake co-signed it. Suddenly, DeJ Loaf wasn't just next up, she was the moment. Known for her laid-back delivery, emotional depth, and androgynous style, DeJ Loaf built a brand that was authentic and unapologetically her. No trends, no gimmicks, just real music that connects. But staying true to yourself in an industry that's always changing, that's the real challenge. So how did DeJ Loaf navigate fame, independence, and staying grounded while the spotlight kept shifting? We're about to break it all down, but before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss stories like this.
Before the spotlight, before the platinum records, and long before the phrase "try me" echoed across radio stations, there was a young girl growing up on the east side of Detroit, learning early what it meant to survive quietly. DeJ Loaf was born Deja Monet Trimble on April 8, 1991, in a city known for grit, resilience, and raw talent. Detroit was not gentle, but it was honest, and it shaped her. Music filled her home from a young age. She listened to Tupac, Rakim, and Miles Davis, absorbing rhythm and storytelling before she fully understood their weight. Those sounds became a kind of refuge, a place where emotion could live safely. But childhood didn't stay simple for long. When Dej was just 4 years old, her father was killed, a loss that permanently altered the direction of her life. The absence left a silence that would later be filled with music and introspection. In the years that followed, her family faced instability, and for a time, Dej and her brothers lived with their grandmother before eventually reuniting with their mother. It was a period marked by emotional weight, one that forced Dej to grow up earlier than most kids around her. Instead of acting out, she turned inward. DeJ Loaf was a quiet child, a self-described good kid who mostly kept to herself. At 9 years old, she began writing her own songs, not with dreams of fame, but as a form of release. Words became a way to process grief, pressure, and identity. Music wasn't entertainment, it was survival. At school, she balanced creativity with discipline. She attended Southeastern High School in Detroit, where she was a solid student and played basketball at the junior varsity level. Sports taught her focus, competitiveness, and teamwork, qualities that would later translate into her music career. In 2009, she graduated, still unsure whether music could ever be more than a passion. Like many young people from her background, Deej chose a practical path. She enrolled at Saginaw Valley State University, studying nursing, a career rooted in service and stability. For 3 semesters, she balanced schoolwork with songwriting, but something felt unresolved. The music never stopped calling. Eventually, she made a decision that terrified her. She left college and committed fully to her art, knowing there were no guarantees and no safety net. Around this time, she began shaping the identity that would later define her. The name DeJ Loaf came from a shortened version of her first name, Deja, combined with Loafer, a nod to her love for Air Jordans growing up. The name was simple, personal, and unmistakably hers, just like her sound. Her early life didn't produce a loud personality or a flashy persona. It produced discipline, emotional control, and a voice that carried weight without shouting. Detroit didn't teach her to boast, it taught her to stand firm. The foundations of her career weren't built in studios or boardrooms. They were built in a small Detroit household, through grief, determination, and the quiet belief that her voice mattered. And that belief would soon change everything. She officially stepped into music around 2011, releasing songs independently while still shaping her sound. At the time, DeJ wasn't trying to fit neatly into hip-hop's expectations. Her delivery was calm, where others were aggressive. Her confidence didn't shout, it stared back. In 2012, she released her first official mixtape, Just Do It, a raw introduction that carried Detroit's grit without imitation. The project didn't explode overnight, but it did something more important. It earned respect. That respect caught the attention of Detroit rapper and executive Say It Ain't Tone, who signed DeJ Loaf to his independent label, IBGM. Under that guidance, she sharpened her craft, learning the business while staying rooted in authenticity. She wasn't chasing trends, she was refining identity. Then came 2014. DeJ released a song called Try Me. It wasn't flashy, it didn't beg for attention. It was a warning wrapped in composure. The hook was simple, the energy restrained, but the confidence was undeniable. The song spread fast, organically, until one moment shifted everything. Drake quoted the lyrics on Instagram. That single post turned Try Me from a Detroit record into a national conversation. The industry came calling. Later that year, DeJ Loaf signed a major record deal with Columbia Records, marking a pivotal shift from independent momentum to mainstream visibility. Instead of rushing an album, she released the mixtape Sell Soul, a project that showcased her versatility, melodic, assertive, introspective, all without sacrificing her signature calm delivery. Critics noticed something rare, a rapper who sounded powerful without performing toughness. Her rise continued into 2015 when she dropped her debut EP and See That's the Thing. The project included Back Up, featuring Big Sean, another Detroit native, and the collaboration felt intentional rather than opportunistic. The song became a hit, earning platinum certification and cementing DeJ Loaf as more than a viral moment. She wasn't just featured in the conversation, she was shaping it. That same year, she appeared on Detroit vs. Everybody, alongside Eminem, Big Sean, Royce da 5'9", and others. The track wasn't just a collaboration, it was a cosign from the city itself. Detroit wasn't lending her credibility, she was part of its lineage. As her profile grew, DeJ Loaf faced a choice many artists encounter too late: conform or protect identity. She chose the latter. In 2020, she released her debut studio album, Sell Soul 2. While it didn't chart heavily, the album was praised for its maturity and cohesion. By then, DeJ Loaf was no longer measuring success by numbers alone. She had built a loyal fan base that valued substance over spectacle. Throughout her career, DeJ Loaf has remained intentionally elusive. She doesn't overshare. She doesn't manufacture controversy. Her public appearances are measured, her interviews thoughtful. In an industry that often rewards noise, she has survived and thrived by moving in silence.
Let's get into her net worth. As of 2026, DeJ Loaf's net worth is most consistently estimated between $2 million and $4 million, depending on valuation methods, catalog ownership assumptions, and touring activity. Some lifestyle sites project higher future valuations, but conservative, widely cited estimates continue to place her firmly within this range. The foundation of DeJ Loaf's wealth was laid before she ever signed a major record deal. In the early 2000s, she released music independently, funding her own projects and building a regional following in Detroit. That early independence mattered. It meant she entered the industry with leverage, not desperation, and with a clearer understanding of ownership and long-term value. Her first major financial turning point came in 2014, when Try Me went viral. The song's success generated income across digital sales, streaming, radio play, and performance fees, but more importantly, it opened doors. Shortly afterward, DeJ signed with Columbia Records, gaining access to larger budgets, wider distribution, and advance payments that significantly increased her earnings. Touring and live performances have also played a major role in her financial picture.
From festival appearances to club tours and opening slots on major acts' tours, live shows provided a consistent source of income during her peak visibility years. Even when she reduced public output, these performances helped stabilize her earnings during quieter periods. Unlike many artists whose wealth depends entirely on constant releases, DeJ Loaf diversified early. She explored fashion and merchandise ventures, selective brand partnerships, and collaborative projects that extended her reach without oversaturating her image. While she has never aggressively marketed endorsements, these ventures quietly supplemented her music income over time. Her debut studio album, Sell Soul 2, 2020, marked another shift in her financial strategy. The album was widely praised but not heavily promoted for chart success, a move that reflected a change in priorities. By then, DeJ Loaf's wealth strategy appeared focused less on short-term spikes and more on catalog longevity, creative freedom, and ownership control. That strategy explains why estimates of her net worth vary. Some sources value her closer to $2 million, focusing strictly on publicly visible revenue streams, while others estimate $3 to $4 million, factoring in intellectual property, songwriting royalties, and private assets. What remains consistent across all reports is this: DeJ Loaf has never depended on hype to sustain her income. She built a career that could survive silence. In a music industry obsessed with excess, DeJ Loaf has always moved differently. While many artists measure success in mansions and supercars, DeJ has built a life defined by privacy, familiarity, and intention. Her idea of luxury has never been about being seen, it's been about being secure. Despite years of mainstream success, DeJ Loaf has never publicly showcased multiple mansions or sprawling estates. What is well documented is her continued connection to Detroit, the city that shaped her. In early career documentaries and interviews, DeJ has repeatedly returned to her old neighborhoods, showing pride in where she came from, rather than distancing herself from it. Her "Welcome to My Neighborhood" feature with Karen Civil offered a rare glimpse into her roots and her comfort in familiar surroundings rather than gated excess. Unlike artists who relocate permanently to luxury hubs, DeJ has maintained residences that prioritize privacy and function over spectacle. During the COVID-19 period, she spent significant time at a Los Angeles home where she has said isolation pushed her toward reflection and creative reset rather than indulgence. Even then, she avoided showing the property publicly, reinforcing her preference for keeping her personal spaces off camera. There is no verified public record of DeJ Loaf owning multiple mansions, large estates, or highly publicized luxury properties. Instead, what emerges consistently from interviews and media coverage is an artist who values comfort, control, and emotional safety over real estate flexing. Her wealth is quiet, and so are her homes. The same philosophy applies to her car collection. DeJ Loaf has never been known for showing off garages full of exotic vehicles. She has not publicly claimed ownership of supercars or hyper-luxury models, nor has she built her image around automotive excess. In multiple interviews, she has described herself as laid back and practical, preferring convenience and reliability over attention-grabbing status symbols. While artists in her peer group often turn cars into branding tools, DeJ's relationship with vehicles appears strictly utilitarian. Public appearances and behind-the-scenes footage show her arriving in standard luxury or mid-range vehicles, but without emphasis, naming, or celebration. There are no verified reports of her owning a Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini, or similar headline-driven purchases, despite rumors that circulate online. This absence is telling. DeJ Loaf's lifestyle choices reflect the same discipline that defines her career. She doesn't overexpose. She doesn't perform wealth. She doesn't feel the need to convert success into spectacle. For her, mobility is about getting where she needs to go, not announcing arrival. For someone whose house you can't even trace, I bet her personal life is beyond private. DeJ Loaf has never lived her life for public consumption. Even at the height of her fame, she remained a figure defined less by what she revealed and more by what she chose to protect. While her voice traveled far beyond Detroit, her personal life stayed close to home, quiet, controlled, and intentionally private. At her core, DeJ Loaf is a loner by nature. She has spoken openly about enjoying solitude, not as isolation but as balance. Time alone allows her to reflect, reset,
and stay aligned with who she is outside of music. Fame never changed that instinct. If anything, it reinforced it. The more the world demanded access, the more she learned the value of boundaries. Her personal relationships have always been handled with the same discretion. DeJ has been linked publicly to other artists in the past, most notably fellow rapper Lil Durk, with whom she also collaborated musically. Their connection drew attention, but when the relationship ended, DeJ did not turn it into content or controversy. She moved forward quietly, choosing dignity over headlines. Since then, she has kept her romantic life largely out of public view, refusing to let speculation define her narrative. That restraint has often led to misunderstanding. Because DeJ Loaf doesn't explain herself, she has been subject to rumors about her identity, her sexuality, and her personality. Rather than react defensively, she has consistently let her work speak. She has rejected labels placed on her by outsiders, not with anger, but with indifference. Her stance is simple. Who she is does not require clarification.
Family remains a central pillar in her life. Despite fame and industry pressure, DeJ has stayed deeply connected to the people who supported her before success arrived. She has spoken about how her drive has always been rooted in providing stability, not just for herself, but for those around her. That sense of responsibility influences every major decision she makes, from career moves to how she lives day to day. DeJ's lifestyle mirrors her mindset. She avoids excess. She doesn't chase attention. She prefers familiar environments over spectacle, comfort over chaos. Even when she relocated temporarily to places like Los Angeles, she never embraced celebrity culture. She worked, reflected, and returned to herself. During periods of isolation, particularly during the pandemic, she has acknowledged struggling emotionally, but also growing stronger through self-awareness and honesty. Perhaps the most defining aspect of DeJ Loaf's personal life is intentional distance. She understands her power and guards it carefully. She has spoken about lessons learned from trusting the wrong people early in her career, acknowledging that not everyone who offers help is meant to lead. That awareness now guides her personal and professional relationships alike. DeJ Loaf is not mysterious because she hides. She is private because she chooses peace. In an era where oversharing is currency, she remains proof that you can live fully without living loudly. Her personal life is not an extension of her brand. It is her refuge. And that separation, rare and powerful, is what allows her to continue creating with honesty and control. If you enjoyed this deep dive into DeJ Loaf's life, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories that go beyond the headlines. Because some stories aren't meant to be rushed, and some voices don't fade, they echo. Stay authentic, and I'll see you in the next video.